Hello, our friends, Heart's Home family, Evolutionary Energy Arts family, Arts family, all the above. We are one big happy family.
Yay, one big happy family. Group hug. Group hug.
Absolutely. And as such, we would encourage everybody to make sure you are subscribed to all three channels with the little bell clicked. And thank you, Patreons, for your support, and also those that are supporting over at Ko-Fi with a one-time donation or monthly, just like you can on Patreon. So we are going to talk about Ganesh. Now, we've done videos on Ganesh and about Ganesh, usually sharing the mantras. But we wanted to just tell you more about who is Ganesh really? Does he really have an elephant head? You know, the legend is that he was created by Parvati, the other half, so to speak, of Shiva. And Shiva didn't know that Parvati had created him. And basically he went to guard his mother when she was taking a bath invulnerable. And so he stopped Shiva, and Shiva just chopped his head off. And then Parvati had a fit. And Shiva looked for any old head that was around, found the elephant head, put it on, and resurrected Ganesh. Again, as the guides always say, we hope these stories are useful. We hope that they, entertain and maybe bring some enlightenment. But they certainly don't say, oh, yeah, every story is a blow-by-blow account of exactly what happened. They never say that.
No, it's all about I guess you could say it's all about the parables. It's all about what can get us thinking, what can bring about human understanding, and what is going to help us grow. That's the most important thing. What is going to spur on our emotional growth. And you can look at the photo here, look at the picture, and you can see, his large ears means listen more, and a big head means think big. And really, definitely, when you are bringing something into manifestation, you do want to think big. Small mouth, talk less. Yes. I mean, sometimes when we find ourselves in trouble in life, it's better just to sit on your hands for a while and just simply close your mouth and listen for a while, because that can help us find our way. A lot of things, blesses and protects on our spiritual path. The trunk, high efficiency and adaptability. Large stomach, peacefully digest all good and bad in life. And I like that one. I like that one a lot, because we do get thrown a lot of things in this life, and they can be very difficult. So that's a really good one. And the mouse, desire, unless under control, can cause havoc. You ride the desire and keep it under control, and it does not control you. So that's another good one too. The rat being that demon of desire, and Ganesh is known to be someone who can control demons, so he can be very useful in your life.
Yeah, in fact, that's what the name or the title, in fact, means, is that he is the one that can control demons. He himself is a very, very benevolent being, and perhaps, that while all the ones that we are talking about, all the devas, are very, very helpful, he just lives to help. He just exists to help. He wants to help so bad, as they all really do. And, he is one that goes into the Akashic records, and, he's also known, like Thoth is known as being a scribe, per se, a record keeper, a bookkeeper, a librarian on the biggest plane possible. And, they have maybe a similar soul stream in some ways. Ganesha, he is always in the Akashic records. And yeah, that's why his one of his tusks is broken, is because he was, transcribing the great events that have been given to us in the Vedic books there. in those epics like the Ramayana and the Mahabharata are must reads. They're probably easier reads to go to first before you would try to read the Vedas, and I'd almost encourage people to kind of go way out of order. Maybe get introduced to the Vedic world and the Sanatana Dharma by starting with the Bhagavad Gita is usually recommended. That's the middle section. That's kind of one section of the Mahabharata. But go through the Mahabharata, then read the Ramayana, which is actually talking about a time period a little bit farther back than the Mahabharata. And then, go from there. Maybe you go from there into the Upanishads, and then from there perhaps dabble into the Vedas themselves, or you might want to go into the Puranas because they are also a little bit more easier. It depends on which one. There's so many different books. There are so many different scriptures out there. And Ganesha is all about, helping. He's the remover of obstacles. He wants to help us. He can rewrite soul contracts.
That's one of the more, one of his specialties is being, I perceive him to be a lawyer when it comes to the Akashic records. So if you're one who wants to rewrite something, rewrite soul contracts, rewrite the records, rewrite something in your life, you can call Ganesh in and he can look at this and he can rewrite it for you the best way possible. And to be most effective, you would really want to have a good sit down with Ganesh and talk to him and tell him what you would like. And to do that, you'd need to build a relationship. And how do you build a relationship with him? Well, you do his mantra, and that's going to bring in his understanding. It's going to bring in his energy. It's going to bring in his flow. And he's going to do what he can for you to help rewrite these situations in your life. He's very good when it comes to manifesting. If you have a lot of obstacles in your way, definitely someone you would want to get to know. But all these beings, when we bring them up, you want a relationship with them. You don't just want to go to any old being and ask for things because maybe you don't get along. There could be something in that energy field that's not resonating with you. But if you could feel his energy, if you did feel Ganesha's energy, he's really a protector of the divine feminine. The very first time that I channeled Ganesh, he was shy to step into me. To him, it did not feel appropriate. He was wanting to stand back and deliver the information in that way because he's so gentle, he's so kind, he's so peaceful. And that's what he wants to bestow. And he wants to help people attain things without, having a lot of trauma. Because sometimes in life, if we want something, you might go through a whole lot of grief just to get to it. Whereas Ganesh could come in, and if it's karmically possible, he's going to help you.
Absolutely. He does have a sense of humor, and he gives off an amazing energy. When I was doing mantras for a prolonged period of time and really putting a lot of dedication into it, in 2016, I awoke twice to what I know was Ganesh sending at least a portion of his energy to say hi. And it was an orb. It was a playful orb, and it did change form and manifest into something different. And it was kind of like a peachy pink color and very playful, and it made me actually laugh out loud. And that's the type of energy that he has. He has a very, very benevolent energy and really, truly, truly does want to help. So does he really have an elephant head? Well, the answer is, again, he's not at our density. He's in a higher density. And so in reality, he can appear in any way he wants to appear. And even when we pass on and we go to fourth density, often, you might get a visitation maybe of a loved one, and you perceive them as, for me, when I see my dad a lot, he seems to be 30s, early 30s, something like that. It's all what we want to perceive when you're on the higher densities, even the fourth density. Again, you can change your form, you can change your appearance, and so it's whatever he wants to appear as. He chooses to have that elephant's head. In reality, we might actually, if we saw a very wise yogi, a typical maybe yogi that's practicing in the Himalayas, out there, able to just sit out in the snow for an indefinite period of time, that might be a little closer to the reality than the elephant head.
There's something about this energy that he puts off, and so many people know him to have the elephant head. So yeah, if you were to pass away, and if Ganesh was one of your guides, this is how he would appear to you, just so that you would know who it is. I mean, that's very important. Our belief systems are everything. They're critical. But in reality, to see Ganesh with an elephant head, no, that's not how he carries himself in a different kind of reality. But understand, all of these are for our growth. It's for our expansion. There's a lot of symbology. And Ganesh is just a really good, friendly, loving entity that wants to help. And he really has an affinity for humans, for the human race. He definitely wants to step in and help them expand. He's like a very loving brother, a very loving uncle, a loving relative, just wants to bring guidance. And, most of all, it's like, do no harm. So if you're one who you want to try to use Ganesh to remove obstacles, well, if it's not time to remove those obstacles, if he can see that removing certain obstacles could bring you harm, then that might not happen right away, because he can see the higher aspect and you are asking for his wisdom and his guidance, and he is not going to bring any harm to you.
We've shared with you the story of when Cindy was separate from me and on the other side of the country, and she wasn't doing so well physically, and her flight was canceled and was told that it might be a long time before she gets another flight. I told her, let's just sit down, we'll do mantras. I'll do them here, you do them there, on opposite sides of the country. And gosh, what was it, half hour? And not even a half hour, and she was put on a flight like right away. And I can't tell you how many times that has happened with Ganesh and the mantras. It's just, if he can do it, and it's something that's not going to harm you or put you in harm's way, and it is ultimately for your good, well, he'll do his best to get it done.
I think that's important to understand when we are dealing with our guides and our angels, knowing that they are looking at things from a different perspective. Ultimately, we're the ones who have to walk this path ourselves. It's ours. So they're not going to come up and tell you certain things, because if they do tell you specifics of your life or what they might see, well, then they're living your life for you. It's no longer your free will. So that's another thing that's really important to remember, but we definitely have a lot of help.
Time is not the same on any density but this, so where we are now, we can't see things that they can see, so it could be that you're praying for a new job, and you really want this new job, and something popped up, and you're so focused on it. Now the view that he has from there, again, he's above the 3D 4D matrix. He can already look at potential outcomes, and who knows, maybe there's some sort of mass shooting event or something that happens at that location, and that's why he's not going to do the and moving things out of the way so that could happen. Or it could be that, he might see that you might be having an accident on the way there sometime. There could be all these different things that we don't see that may be years out. But when you look at the potential timelines and you see the possibility of outcomes, the negative might outweigh the good. And, also it could be even something just as simply as within ourselves, our own motives and tendencies. Maybe in some lives, there is perhaps a tendency to avoid having too many physical gifts and blessings because of spiritual lessons that want to be achieved. And, then also there could be karma involved. There's all these different things going on, and it's stuff that we don't normally see from this perspective.
Right. We have really good feelers, and you can become more and more sensitive. So you can feel things that are out there, and you can feel the energies around you. But there's definitely a level of trust that you have to attain when dealing with such things, and understand that the benevolent beings are not going to put you in harm's way. So if you're not getting something that you want, also keep in mind that they could be preparing something even better.
Yeah, absolutely. That's so key and critical. It's one of the things that's really changed in me. So, I don't have the same sort of expectations. I don't get so hooked on, this one thing has to come through. It would be nice if it did, but if it doesn't, it's okay. Because I know there's a reason for it not. And yet we'll try. We'll put the intention out there. We'll move forward with things, and we'll hope that things will manifest. But if something is not manifesting and it looks like it should, then more than likely there's a good reason why. And in most cases it's simply for your own good.
Right, for your own path. And there could be information that your higher self is holding on to you, and for your own benefit, for your own growth. So going through life and having a lot of traumas can really, really shake that trust that we have in our guides and in our ancestors, because we're just afraid that if we don't get this thing, that something bad might happen. But that's where healing comes in. And when we're able to heal, we're able to let go of the outcome somewhat, so it's not so painful, and become more fluid and understanding that there's always something out there that's better. It might not be what you think, but it always expresses itself, and it always shows itself over time.
Absolutely. What we're going to do right now is we're going to do a few rounds of his mantra, and Cindy's going to do a few dings. So if you want to follow along with us, I will pull up the lyrics. Sometimes things just, hit us. And so I'm almost feeling like the guides are saying, even though there's videos up on this, there are videos up on this. Let's just do this anyway. And so this is the words. These are the words. Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha Sharanam Ganesha. Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha Sharanam Ganesha. And again, you could do it all different ways. You could go around the house singing, and you could also just slow it all down and resonate it. It's whatever feels good to you at that particular time. And we do it in varying ways.
Yes, we do. And we'll kind of show you how we do it.
And again, this is how we're doing it now, but it might be different tomorrow. It might be different tonight. And I think we probably do his mantra at least twice a day, every day. And, it's typical to start with Ganesh, because he's also going to be activating the root chakra. So that's going to ground and root you for anything else that comes afterwards, which is so important. So Cindy's going to give us some tuning dings to help put us in a good space and clear the air. And we're going to do a few rounds of his mantra. Om Gam Ganapatiye Namaha Sharanam Ganesha. 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 you might want to add an Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. That's just wishing for peace.
Indeed.
So, as always, guys, thanks for being part of this family. Hope it helps. Call out. He's just waiting for you to dial.
Indeed.
God bless and namaste.
Namaste.